So you probably heard by now that President Trump and Melania and Hope Hicks caught the virus. I haven't caught the virus, thank God. You're probably thinking it's President Trump's fault because he wasn't social distancing at these rallies. He wasn't wearing a mask. He was shaking hands, wasn't wearing gloves. I'm here to tell you, although none of that helped, it was Fauci's fault he caught the virus. Fauci came in, the Oval Office busted in actually, saying you can't say this, the virus originated in China anymore. And Trump's like, why? Who are you? How do you know? And Fauci's like, I can prove it. Trump's like, go ahead, prove it. He goes, I'm going to Fauci. I'm going to my car. So Fauci goes to his car, comes back with a couple of suitcases. Takes a takes a microscope out of the first one. And then he's opening the second one, and I say, well, wait a minute, what's in the second suitcase? He goes, oh, it's coronavirus. I go, you drive around in your car with live coronavirus? He's like, yeah. I'm like, isn't that dangerous? He's like, no, because one time I was driving home from the White House, and a bunch of crazy Tucker Carlson fans surrounded my car, and they were trying to drag me out. Luckily, I was on the phone with Nancy Pelosi, and they saw that on the readout on the dash for the phone, they saw Ninja Nancy, and then they heard her voice, and Nancy was like, are you all right? I'm coming down there. And then when they heard Ninja Nancy Pelosi was coming down, they all scattered. So ever since that day, I've been driving around with live coronavirus. So I was like, well, why don't you get a gun or mace? And Fauci goes, well, that would be dangerous. I was like, so a gun and mace are a little more dangerous than driving around with live coronavirus? He's like, oh yeah. I was like, never mind, just do what you have to do. Well, when you started taking the coronavirus out of the suitcase, the live virus, I started to walk out. And everyone was like, well, where are you going? And I was like, I'm not sitting in the same room with some live coronavirus. I was just like, well, it's in a protective case. I'm like, no, I'll watch this on Zoom. So I went to my office in the White House. Yes, I do have an office. And it's the reason why it's classified and where the office is in the White House, it's also classified. So I'm watching on Zoom, and then Richard Simmons walks in because I was going to have him be my personal bodyguard, because ever since Meghan Markle and the Prince started living in LA, my former bodyguard Steve Urkel, they hired him, so I had to replace Urkel. So Richard Simmons was there, and he was early, and he started watching on Zoom with me, and I was like, yeah, that's live coronavirus. He's like, why does he have that? I go, he drives around with it. He goes, oh, that's insane. So then Fauci sets up the demonstration display, puts the slide on, and all of a sudden everyone's about to look, and next thing you know, the Cupid Shuffle comes on, and Fauci starts dancing, and the music's up, and I guess when Fauci does his Cupid Shuffle, you cannot interrupt him, so everyone started sitting down waiting for the song to be over, and then the song where it goes, now kick, in the Cupid Shuffle, well, Fauci kicked, hit the table that the microscope was on with the coronavirus. It tipped over, the protective casing broke, and then the coronavirus was in the air, and me and Richard Simmons are freaking out, get out of there. But of course the music's so loud and everyone was on their phones because no one wants to see Fauci dance. So we grabbed a couple hazmat suits in my office and we were running down there. We hit the alarm in the White House, so everyone evacuated. And they couldn't hear the alarm because Fauci still had the music up so much. So we're pounding on the door. And Secret Service pounding on the door. Of course, no one can hear it. So we were like, well, get the battering ram. But there was no time. So Richard Simmons kicked the door in. And they looked at us like, what are you doing? And we're like, well, he kicked the display over. The coronavirus is in the air. So everyone ran out. Of course, it's Fauci because he's still doing the damn Cupid Shuffle. So Richard Simmons had to grab him, throw him over his shoulder, and run out. And so we finally got everyone out, and then we had to seal off the Oval so the virus wouldn't spread, and all the HVAC and everything. We had to do a cleaning. And of course, we thought we got everything. But then, of course, Hope Hicks, Melania, and President Trump tested positive for the virus. Luckily, me and Richard Simmons did. None of the Secret Service did. No one else did. But if you want to know how Trump got the virus, it's Fauci's fault. And then Fauci wonders why Trump doesn't like him. And I'm like, dude, you gave him coronavirus. No one likes anyone who gives him coronavirus. He doesn't seem to understand the problem. So when you see the news talking about Trump getting coronavirus, you know it's Fauci's fault. And I think the news should put the blame where it belongs, but they probably won't.